Everyone wants to unlock front lever or planche or handstand push-ups, but they don't actually have any real training system. They have no idea what they're actually doing and they're wondering why they're not progressing. Today I'm going to show you how to progress using microcycles, mesocycles, and macrocycles, and how to use those to progress the fastest and to the highest level in calisthenics that you can. But let's start with the problem. So the first thing that a lot of people do is they're going to put a bunch of random exercises into a workout, go to failure every single set, and not understand why they're plateauing every single time that they're trying to move on to a harder variation. Another thing is that they don't understand recovery for not only your muscles but your tendons and joints, because it takes a lot longer to recover. And they're training hard, but they're not actually progressing, even though it feels like they should be. But the problem isn't that you're not training hard enough, it's just that you're not structuring it right. That being said, let's get into what the 3 cycles actually are. So the macro cycle is like your big picture. It's usually 6 to 12 months, and it has multiple mesocycles in there. Mesocycles are usually 4 to 6 weeks, and it's what you want to do in that time for whether it's strength or muscle growth or endurance. It's usually, you have about 3 mesocycles in a macro cycle. The microcycle is 1 week, and it's just what you want to work on that week, and those add up over the mesocycles to help you progress way faster. Think of it like a video game, like a game character. The microcycle is like what you want to do this week for your character. The mesocycle is like what you want to do to make it better, and the macrocycle is like what you want to do by the end of the season. Now that you know what kind of structure to use, let's get into why that structure works and further explain what it means. So let's start with the microcycles. That's, like I said, just 1 week, and the point of a microcycle is how training and fatigue are managed in that week. So your week should have a volume day, an intensity day, and almost like a little deload where you just don't train as hard. Mesocycles are pretty much just 4 to 6 weeks usually, and they're like focused phases of what you want to do. So like I said earlier, whether that's the strength training, muscle growth, or endurance, whatever you want to do, that's going to be your focus on the mesocycles, and that's what's going to kind of help you get towards that goal. For example, if every workout is just max pull-ups, muscle up attempts, front lever training, just no structure behind it, you're just training to show her that she shouldn't have left because you're good enough. Trust me, I tried that too. It doesn't work. Like I said before, the macrocycle is like the big picture. So that's the usually 6 to 12 months, and has the multiple mesocycles in the macrocycle. So that one is like pretty much just what you want to do within the next 6 to 12 months. So like, for example, what I want to do by the end of the year, or within my macrocycle right now, is planche, hopefully front lever touch, maybe 1-arm pull up. So those are just kind of examples. 90-degree handstand push up. So that's what I want to do in my macrocycle, and right now my mesocycles are working towards that, and it's getting me a lot closer, a lot faster than what I was doing before I started using this whole structure. So now we get into deload. So this is like a super important part of training that most people miss, and most people don't want to do because they think they're going to lose all their progress. And the deload is pretty much, you just cut the intensity 40 to 60%, and that helps your joints recover, your tendons, your muscles, everything, your CNS, all just like resets pretty much, or recovers depending on what it is. But that's just like super important in your training because it just like resets everything, lets everything recover, because the fatigue builds up on your tendons a lot faster or over time, because it takes so much longer to recover than muscles do. So you might feel fine and then randomly get injured because you weren't resting hard enough or long enough. You were training too hard and you never really gave your tendons time to recover. So that stress was just adding up until you finally got injured from it. So the deload is essential. You need that. You're going to do your deload. Okay, so I have to finish filming out here, but now let's get into how to actually structure training by yourself now that you've learned everything else when it comes to structuring your training. So by doing this, I'll give you an example of how to use a mesocycle exactly, and you can adjust that based off of whatever your goals are, whatever level you're at right now, all that. So if you're structuring it, maybe the first mesocycle, so remember that's 4 to 6 weeks. So that's, let's say that was hypertrophy based. So you want to do maybe more volume, a little bit lower rest time to get the muscle growth in there. So that's going to be the first mesocycle. The second one is going to be a little more strength based, so increase your rest time, decrease your reps with harder variations, and do that for the next mesocycle. And then for the third mesocycle, it can be more skill focused. So now that you got the strength a lot better after the next, maybe we'll just say 10 weeks roughly, then you can start with more skills for maybe planche, front lever, whatever you're trying to accomplish, because that's going to be the hardest. And then that last week or maybe 2 weeks of the mesocycle would be a deload to get like all the extra rest, like I explained earlier. And then you'll feel your strength go so much higher after the deload, and it's going to help you so much. People who progress fastest in calisthenics weren't the most motivated. They're the most organized. They know when to push, they know when to recover, and they know how to structure their training right. So train hard, but also make sure you train smart with good structure, so it's not all wasted effort. If this video helped you, make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below what kind of video you'd like to see next, and we'll see you in the next one.